Okay. We used the red camera, which at the time was, we were sort of debating whether we could handle it. And our DP had shot one film with the red, and so he felt confident that it would work for us, so that's what we did. These guys, I'd like to say that we just made an offer to them, because now that's what we would have to do. But they actually came in and auditioned, and they were the standouts, and became quickly clear that they were the ones. And we also found people in Chicago. When we knew that we were going to Michigan, we went to Chicago and did a casting session. That's where we found Aaron's dad and some of the other folks.
But these aren't their first films, right?
No, no,
Okay.
no. They had done a lot of work, and they were really accomplished. But they were kind enough to come in and audition.
Someone just pointing out credits.
I'm just curious, with having shot with Red, did you have any workflow issues? Red's a big production.
Would you like to handle this one?
We had some very minor ones, I think. We edited on Final Cut, and theoretically it's designed, the red is designed to flow very directly into Final Cut. And we had some, we made some small errors in settings on the Final Cut system, but it was manageable. It slowed things down a bit. The one recommendation I would make, if you shoot red, and I would recommend the instrument, it's a wonderful camera, we think we got great results out of it, would be to fix on your post-production house prior to photography and work with them to set up the editing system, you know, prior to that, prior to beginning photography. You know, I think it would help a little bit. We did not, you know, we've heard, I think that at this point there have been enough films shot with the red that a lot of the major problems have been worked through. But you do need to be a little bit careful.
One question right here.
The whole dynamic, the relationship between the boy and all that, the whole thing that the movie's based around. I think it's sort of an interesting perspective on human relationships and sexuality and that kind of, you know, it's not what you typically see, of course. I mean, usually the boy gets the girl at the end, something like this. And so I'm just wondering what the inspiration was. Where did this movie come from? Like, is this a personal thing for you, or is this just sort of your thoughts on like human relationships and sexuality?
You can leave the stage.
Okay, well, actually, I based the entire story on my brother's experiences. No, there was a Linda and a Beth when I was a freshman, and also my freshman roommate had a lot of difficulties choosing between engineering and an art career, and thank God for him, he ended up a children's book illustrator, and he's really amazing. But you know, this was just, I mean, it was a story that kept coming back to me, kind of begging to be told, and so finally I just kind of bowed and just tried to write it. I was doing a lot of documentary work. I was on a lot of airplanes, and it just, I just started working on scenes, and I will tell you this, originally the ending got a lot darker, and I'm very grateful to Sam that he helped me. He read an early draft, and he said, this is really nice, but then at the point where we start circling the drain, it gets a little tedious. And anyway, so we, I think, got to actually, I think, a better truth, even though it was less dramatic, but I think I was just kind of looking for a way to end the movie.
Well, I really liked the statement, you know, you were 17, you're not supposed to be fixing my mistakes, you're supposed to be making your own, and I thought that was I could see how tough to end the movie, but that I felt like that was something that really like brought it together.
Good, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for these guys?
Yeah, sure. You guys did such a beautiful job with this. It was really incredible. I'd love to ask you about what it was like getting to know each other, and if you had a lot of rehearsals, or if you just kind of were doing it on set, what was that process like?
Actually, me and Britt have known each other for probably going on 6 years. We would both come back and forth. I would come back and forth to California for pilot season and everything. So I've known Britt since she was like 12, like 11. Yeah, probably real life Beth age. But yeah, we rehearsed. Brittany came in and she did 2 audition processes with me where we ran like 3 or 4 scenes for a couple hours at a time, and we rehearsed a good amount of stuff, and then we had a few table reads when we got to Kalamazoo and kind of fleshed everything out and walked inside the sets and got a feel for everything we were going to do. And
Sure. You know, obviously it's an independent film, so we didn't really have that much time to rehearse. Probably not as much as you would have liked, but we did have a good 3 or 4 days. And I actually had experience with Laura Allen as well. We had done a film together about a year before we started shooting, so I already pretty much knew these guys on a personal level. So that was, yes, very much so. So it worked out for me in that way.
all right.